Are you done? Are you retired? Are you?
I don't know, man. I've been training and I've been staying in shape to stay ready, but in all reality, a lot of my desires have changed, right? Like with this book, you mentioned, like, how did it come about? I didn't plan it, right? But that year, a lot happened, right? Not only those conversations, but I remember tearing my pec, being out for the season. I remember having a real passion to do some social justice work, and all of a sudden, since I had more time on my hands, got a chance to get with the guys on the Bears and not only support my teammates to play. First time I made the playoffs in 5-10 years, but also I got a chance to help my team raise about $1 million to go towards social justice stuff, right? So doing that, and the book came out, I'm going speaking and letting people know about this message about freedom. And so to answer your question, if somebody called, I would pick up. I don't know what I would say right now, because I feel like God has changed a lot of the desires of my heart to something bigger than just football.
Well, the reason why I ask is because you brought up about how the conversation that led to this book and led to, I guess, an awakening might be a way to put it, or a realization. Was how are you going to feel like, or what's going to happen when you're retired? And that, to me, having been associated with the NFL Network since 2003, was one of the first things that was impressed upon me on my experiences of meeting players, getting to know the men underneath the helmet and the pads, if you will, and realizing after years of just sitting on a SportsCenter set and being just a fan watching a game on television that these are human beings. These are human beings, and many of the times we find out about the human beings for the wrong reasons, because that's when we see in headlines about an arrest or some sort of flouting of the law, when 99% of the men who play football, fathers and sons, and sometimes, like in the case of Favre, grandfathers, and community, upstanding people, who, after 4 years of playing the sport on average, after being a big man on campus like you at the University of Texas, have to figure out something else to do because the career is over. And it is one of the most heartbreaking things that I ever get to see in person. It's so difficult. But we're seeing your brother. He's crushing it right now. There's no question about that. But that's why I asked you if you're retired, to see, if this is what you want to do, this sort of conversation or authoring or what have you, and see how you're, if you will, handling all of that.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And even in the book, I actually write this chapter called The Art of the Pivot, how to handle life's transitions. And I talk about this because as I was writing, though I still went back after the 2018 season, I got injured, I got released by the Bears. I went back a few months later and signed with Tampa Bay and played with Tampa Bay last season and with BA and the whole squad. And but something was different, Rich. Something was different after kind of coming to this realization that I'm more than just what I do, that I'm more than just a football player. So, yes, I went back and played. This is kind of an answer to your question. Yes, I went back and played, but my reasoning was different, right? It wasn't so much about what's the biggest contract I can get or how many QBs can I sack. It was more about, okay, how can I make an impact on these guys on the locker room? Because I've seen the stats the same way you've seen them, right? 80% of guys after retirement, and this was a stat at least when I came in, or either 80% are either divorced, depressed, or bankrupt within 3 years after they retire. And so my heart said, yeah, I don't like that. And I don't want that to be the story for anybody, any of my teammates, current, former, or even future guys who are going to play in the NFL, but even more in the NFL, like in life, people hide, in businesses and bars. And so that's why I wrote the book, right? That's why I wrote Let the World See You. It's for anybody who's ever gone through a transition, who's going through a transition, who knows what it feels like to hide. But also it's this idea that you don't have to always jump. Even if like even for me, like I'm starting to understand that football, right, I'm going on year 10, right, so I'm way past the average. Football has a shorter lifespan looking forward for me than others. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, I still may play if I get a call. My passion is really about helping people be free, and that's what I think is shown in the book.
You like that video? Of course you did. Check out more right here.